In this video, we're going to review how to install the PrusaSlicer, which includes download and run the installer, add the gMax 2.0 Pro profiles, select and add the nozzle sizes, add your material profiles, slicing your model, and starting the print. Once you have completed assembling the gMax 2.0 Pro and you've run the initial files that were included on the SD card, which include the gMax initial setup file, the bed level print, and your first print, you're going to want to slice and print your own models. We suggest using the Prusa Slicer, which can be found at prusa3d.com. Once you're there, click on Software and then click on Visit Prusa Slicer website to get the latest version of the software. If you are watching this video in the future, your version might be different. We are currently using version 2.4.2. Depending on your operating system, click on the appropriate button to download the installer package. We are currently using a Mac, so we are going to download the DMG file or disk image. And depending on your connection, this should only take a few seconds. Once the file is downloaded, click on the DMG to open it. From here, it's a basic drag and drop installation style, so grab the original Prusa drivers and just drag it to your applications folder. Once it's copied over, let's go to the desktop and open up the application from the applications folder. Before we launch the application and run the configuration assistant to add the gMax 2.0 Pro printer, we do need a file to print with. I've picked out this Crown Base file, and I'll have the link down in the description so you can download and print this yourself. If you click on Download here at Printables, which is also run by Prusa, it'll take you to the area where files are available. Depending on the different types of files, you might want to download everything. For this, we just need the STL file. This will be available in our Downloads folder. So let's go to the desktop and launch the application and begin the configuration assistant. From your desktop, access your Applications folder and scroll down until you find the original Prusa drivers folder and double-click the Prusa Slicer to launch the application. Once the application is launched, you'll be greeted with the Configuration Assistant. This is where we're going to add the profiles and presets for our gMax printer. Select Next to move through these different menus. Deselect the printer that is installed by default, which is the original Prusa Mini with the 0.4mm nozzle. We're going to add custom profiles from the Other Vendor folder. Click on Next. Click on Next. Under Other Vendors, select gCreate, and this will install the different presets and profiles that we're going to use. Click on Next. Here, we're going to deselect the 0.5mm nozzle for the gMax 1.5 XT Plus and select all the different nozzles available for the gMax 2.0 Pro, and then click Next. If you wish to add a custom profile, you can do that here. Click on Next. Under Filaments, we're going to select everything available. Remember, these are all been tuned by the team at gCreate, and they should be good to go with the filaments that are named here. There's also some generic settings here that we're going to customize for filament profiles that are not available in this list. From here, you can click on Finish. You can see that the gMax print volume is now part of the interface. Over on the right, you can see the various settings and presets that were installed using the Configuration Assistant. We're going to start with the 0.2mm standard layers preset for print setting. Under Filament, we're going to go ahead and select Generic PETG. And for the printer, we're going to select the gMax 2.0 Pro with the 0.4mm nozzle. Now we're going to need an STL file to do our slicing. And again, we're going to use a vase mode print file, so let's drag and drop our STL file into the interface to begin the process. Once the file has loaded into the interface, you can see it listed here, and it is available for editing. First, we're going to go through the different settings that we're going to apply because this is a vase mode print. Under Print Settings, we're going to select Spiral Vase under Vertical Shells. You'll be greeted with an alert that lets you know that certain settings are going to be automatically changed once you click Yes. As you can see, the 0.2mm standard layers at gCreate now says Modified, so we're going to save this as a vase mode version. Click on the Save icon to change the file name and add a new preset. Here, we're just going to add Vase. If we have to make any more changes in here, we can always save over this and continue to do our testing until we've perfected this preset for vase mode. Under filament settings, we're going to start with the generic PETG at gCreate and modify it for the filament we're going to use for this print. We are using GreenGate's recycled PETG for this print, and its settings are a bit different than the generic setup. So let's go ahead and make those adjustments. This type of PETG prints at PLA type temperatures, so we're going to change these down to PLA temps. The bed can be just a little bit hotter, so we're going to make those changes. As you can see, the generic PETG at gCreate now says modified. So we're going to save this as a preset for GreenGate. So click on the save icon, and instead of generic, we're going to put in GreenGate. And we're going to remove copy. Click OK to save this preset. So once we start tuning the different settings, we will have presets all set up for different parts of this print. Under printer settings, if you need to adjust any of the retraction settings, those will be under Extruder 1. Just remember to save it as a new preset so you keep the original preset created by gCreate. If you go back over to the platter, on the right-hand side, you can see the new settings that we've created along with the default setting for a 0.4 millimeter nozzle for the gMax 2.0 Pro. Now we're going to slice the model and preview it. Depending on your computer's processor and graphics card, the slicing could take a few seconds up to a few minutes. Just be patient, it will finish. Once the slicing has finished, in the left-hand corner, you'll see statistics of the print and the different types of settings or features and how long they will take and what percentage of filament they'll use. It'll tell you how long your first layer takes, in this instance 4 minutes, and the total print time is 3 hours and 47 minutes. You can also use this slider to dial down each of the layers to examine the print for any issues you might encounter. Using the settings that we created, we're going to print this as is, and if we need to do any tuning later, we can adjust our profiles as needed. Now that it's finished slicing and we're happy with all the settings, we can click on Export G-Code and copy the file to the SD card and bring it over to the gMax 2.0 Pro for printing.